Have you ever seen a brand new roof go up in what feels like a blink of an eye and just thought, how on earth did they do that so fast? Well, the secret isn't just about speed, it's about a really clever system. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain, decode the manuals, and show you exactly how a modern modular roof comes together piece by perfect piece.
I mean, it looks like a super complex puzzle, right? But that's the cool part. The genius is all in the design. Every single piece is engineered to fit together perfectly. We're going to follow the blueprint and basically build this thing right here, step by step, so you can see just how straightforward it really is.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll get a quick look at the system itself and cover the safety basics. Then it's time to build. We'll prep the base, lay those first few tiles, which are super important, then fill out the rest of the roof, and finally add those clean, professional finishing touches. Let's dive in. Okay, Section 1, the system and safety. Look, before a single tile even gets near the roof, you have to know what you're working with and, even more importantly, the rules that keep everybody safe up there. This is really the foundation of any good build. And let's be real, safety is completely non-negotiable. The manuals are super clear about this. You know, these metal sheets can have sharp edges, so protective gloves are an absolute must. And since you're working at height, a safety rope and shoes with really good grip, well, they're not just suggestions. They're what's going to prevent a serious accident. All right, with safety covered, it's time to prep the foundation. This is where the real precision work starts, with this wooden substructure they call battens. Every single measurement you make here has to be spot on, because literally the entire roof depends on this framework being perfect. So, let's meet the two stars of the show. Over on the left, you've got the wooden batten substructure. That's our frame. And on the right, these lightweight modular tile sheets. The whole system is just brilliantly simple. These tiles are designed to lock right onto that frame. Okay, and this is where you can't afford to be off, not even by a little bit. See those numbers, 25, 40, 60 millimeters. Those aren't just guidelines. They dictate the exact placement of that very first batten. If this one piece of wood is off by just a few millimeters, the whole roof is going to be out of whack. It's the ultimate measure twice, cut once situation. You know, this is a fantastic little detail from the manual because it explains the why behind the how. It says to carry the sheets by their ribbings, the raised parts, not by the flat edges. Why? Because if you carry them by the thin edge, you can create these tiny, almost invisible bends in the metal. And those tiny bends are enough to cause gaps later on, which could totally compromise the roof's weather seal. Okay, prep work is done. Now for what is truly the make-or-break moment, laying the first tiles. Getting this first row absolutely perfect is everything because it sets the pattern for the entire roof. So, where do you begin? The process always kicks off at a bottom corner of the roof and works its way up. That very first sheet gets laid down squarely on the batten frame, and that becomes the anchor point for everything else that follows. Once that first sheet is in position, it's time to lock it down. They use what are called farmer screws, and they go right through these designated spots, securing the tile directly to the wooden battens. This creates that solid, immovable base you need to build on. And this is where you really see the beauty of the modular system. The second sheet just lays down right next to the first, and their edges, which are designed to interlock perfectly, just overlap and create this tight, seamless connection. And check this out. This shows the final step for this pair. The two sheets are then screwed together where they overlap. So now, they're not two separate pieces anymore. They're one single, secure unit. And that right there is the foundation for your entire first row. So once that first row is perfectly set, the rest of the job is all about rhythm. The installation becomes this quick, repetitive process, and you can just watch the roof take shape incredibly fast. From there, the process moves up and across the roof in a staggered pattern, kind of like laying bricks, and that's not just for looks. Staggering the sheets adds a ton of strength and weather resistance to the whole structure. It all just builds out from that one solid corner we started with. The rhythm is just so simple. You lay a new sheet down, you interlock it with the ones below into the side, and then you secure it to the frame. Lay, interlock, secure. It's this simple, repeatable pattern that makes the whole thing so darn efficient. And then, just like that, the entire slope is covered. It's really a testament to the system's precision because that very first tile was placed perfectly. Every other sheet just falls right into place. The result is a secure, seamless, and completely uniform roof.
So the main surface is done, but we're not quite ready to pack up yet. Now it's time for the final professional touch. Finishing the edges is what really seals the roof from the elements and gives it that sharp, clean, completed look.
A key component for this is something called the dry verge. So what is it? Well, it's basically a modular cap that's designed specifically to cover the side edges of the roof, creating a really clean and totally weatherproof seal. And what's so smart about this is that, just like the roof tiles themselves, the dry verge is a system of interlocking pieces. They're all designed to fit together perfectly, which creates a continuous cap that runs all the way up the side of the roof. The installation itself is very systematic. You start right at the bottom, place the first piece over the tile, and join it through those pre-made mounting holes. Then, you press it down so it fits the wave of the tile, and fasten it to the sideboard. The next piece just slides on top until you hear and feel the locks click right into place. And now for the final piece of the whole puzzle, the ridge cap. This is what seals the very peak of the roof. And just like with everything else, alignment is crucial here. The cap's ribbings have to sit perfectly flush with the high points of the tiles below it to guarantee a watertight and secure finish. So, from a bare frame to a beautiful finished roof, we've seen how a system built on precise measurements, interlocking parts, and a step-by-step process creates a flawless result. It kind of leaves you with a final thought, doesn't it? Whether it's a roof or really anything else we build, what does it truly take to build something that's meant to last?